Calling the meeting of the August 19 Economic Development Committee meeting to order. A physical quorum of the members is physically present. I will entertain a motion to permit those members not physically present due to personal illness or disability employment purposes or for the business of the board or family or other emergency to participate by video or telephone conference. I did get a motion and I did get a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. And welcome, Member Galassi. I don't even see her.
So she's still connecting to audio.
Oh, all right, great. So do we have any public, can we do a roll call, please?
Yes. Chair you,
I'm here.
Vice Chair Galassi, maybe, Member Rutledge.
Here.
Member Eckhoff.
Here.
Member Childress.
Yes.
And Member Heather.
All right, thank you everyone
There
for
she
being
is.
here. Hi, Member Galassi, welcome.
Thank
We already did a motion and seconded and brought you in. Okay. So do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Great. For my remarks, really quickly, welcome back everyone to Economic Development Committee after a short break during the month of July. And I just want to say a shout out to Sheila Rutledge, who this is her last Economic Development Committee, and you're a great member and we're going to miss you.
Appreciate
So
that.
thanks for that. And then as you all know, Lisa Shabak from our Workforce Development Division at WorkNet DuPage serves as staff to our committee. And since WorkNet's program year runs from July 1 through June 30, Lisa will be sharing today some key highlights from the recently completed year. And WorkNet strengthens our local workforce and supports the business community while also helping individuals and families move toward greater economic stability. So the funding that WorkNet receives plays a vital role in workforce participation and development in our county. So I look forward to Lisa's presentation, which we will get to in just a bit. But in addition, we'll be receiving a presentation from Innovation DuPage. And I think this may be the first time in a long, long while that they're here before the Economic Development Committee. I think most of you are familiar with ID, but briefly, Innovation DuPage is a nonprofit business incubator and accelerator in the county that provides entrepreneurs and small business owners with essential resources like education and mentorship to help them succeed, which contributes to economic development, job creation, and county prosperity. So on to the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes, Economic Development Committee from June 17, 2025? Received a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any changes to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? That passes. Can I get a motion for incumbent worker training 25-19-17 to receive and place on file Marquardt School District 15? I received a motion. Did I get a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. I would also like a motion to receive and place on file 25-19-18 equity.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I received a motion and a second. And any questions about this one? Hearing none. Any, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. And then finally, I would like a motion to receive and place on file 25-19-25 Laser Technologies Incorporated. I received a motion. Did I get a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes as well. All right, so now we're moving on to presentations.
All right.
With Lisa Shabak. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Good morning, everybody. We're doing okay on time, right? About 10 minutes? Okay, so as member you said, and I know as most or all of you are familiar with, our grant year runs July 1 through June 30. So we just wrapped up. If you want to advance the slide there. So September is Workforce Development Month, and the county will have a proclamation declaring it as such. So we just included a little snippet of that forthcoming proclamation here. Investment in education, training, and career advancement of DuPage County's workforce is crucial to the ability of the county and state to compete in the global economy and to achieve economic equity. Next slide, please. All right, so this is just kind of a little reset, refresh slide here. So as you know, we're located at the WorkNet DuPage Career Center in Lisle. We administer all of the federally funded employment and training funding through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. You might sometimes have constituents reach out about WIOA or training grants. That's generally what they're talking about. Here is a little refresh on our dual clients, those being job seekers and the local business community, and what those services consist of. Those in bold are going to be, those are sort of our primary services where all of the funding goes toward. The biggest among them is the individual training accounts. That's sort of the foundation of everything that we do, the grants, the scholarships. And there is what our Title I allocation was this past program year, totaling about $5.4 million. This year, our allocation is scheduled to be $6.1 million. So we got an increase this year. And as a little aside, it is sounding like from DC that we are hopefully going to be okay. We haven't heard anything really alarming about a rescission. That it's sounding like there's going to be a continuing resolution. So all of that so far where we are today sounds like relatively good news moving forward for us. Next slide, please. So we focus on 4 key industry sectors. Those are part of our local, regional, and state strategic plans. Those are healthcare, information technology, logistics, transportation, distribution, and manufacturing. This past program year, we expended over $2 million in those individual training accounts, scholarships, grants, whatever you would like to call them, to a total of 303 job seekers here in the community for career training in those industries. As we go through the presentation, we're going to use those industries as kind of the framework for hitting some highlights from the year. And we included some labor market data so that you get kind of an updated perspective on why those are the key 4 that are focused on. As you can see, this program year, information technology, was the primary industry in which we funded job seekers to train in, followed by logistics, transportations, healthcare. It really was pretty balanced. And believe it or not, 12% for manufacturing is actually pretty good. That's showing an increase in popularity for that industry sector this program year, which is a good thing. Next slide, please. So general kind of basic outcomes for the year. We saw for all people that exited our program on average, a 61% wage gain from where they started. The average wage at exit of all people, so those are adult clients, dislocated worker clients, and young adults, was $28.13 an hour, which is approximately $60,000, between $58,000 and $60,000 a year if you annualize that. And 77% of the clients that were exited were employed at the point of exit. And we included there, we thought it might be of interest, the top participant zip codes this past year. So you could see those are the 5 that we served the most individuals from this past program year. Next slide. Please stop me too throughout if there's questions. I know we're sort of condensed here, so I'm going to talk through this kind of quickly, but I'm happy to answer any questions. As you guys know, a few years back, actually before COVID, several years back now, we started the Breaking Boundaries initiative here locally to try to compel more women to select quote unquote non-traditional occupations, those that are male dominated by 75% or more. And we thought it was interesting that this past year we saw a 167% increase in female students selecting non-traditional occupations in manufacturing or transportation fields. Next slide, please. For our incumbent worker training, so you guys just placed on file 3 more of those. You know we do that every meeting. This past year, we awarded over $250,000 to local businesses to upskill their current workforce. A lot of those are manufacturers. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the slide deck. But I think that that's a tremendous success here for our local business community. We are typically, I think, the leading county in the state for this particular program that we issue more. We're sort of the leader in this space. Next slide. Here is another snippet from the upcoming proclamation. Joe, if you want to advance again. So we'll start here again with these 4 key sectors. We're going to start with healthcare. If you would like to advance again, Joe. Here is some, one more time, sorry. Here are some key facts about our DuPage County healthcare sector. So this represents 15% of DuPage workforce. Over 95,000 people are employed in the healthcare sector. Total wages paid to employees is $6.6 billion. Average annual wage for this sector is about $70,000. Projected job demand for the next year is 9,500. And then this is the sector with the highest projected annual growth in the county. You remember the last meeting, we had the cluster study from Choose DuPage, and Greg and I always talk about the synergy between all the data and stuff that we speak to. That's what you're seeing there. And we know that that is a booming sector, not only here in DuPage, but sort of everywhere. Next sector. Next slide. So here are again, our WIOA grants, our individual training accounts. Again, this is sort of our bread and butter, what we're most known for. This past program year, we funded 62 participants in the healthcare industry, which represented over $415,000 of funding. These numbers that I'm speaking to, you see the problem when we talk about a potential cut to federal funding. I don't see a way that the state, the county, you can't bridge $5.5 million, $415,000 funded healthcare participants alone. There's a quote there, a testimonial from a client of ours, and that kind of just again demonstrates the impact, right? So broke the cycle of low income and hopelessness, sees a clear path to success in her nursing career. We included some of the sample trainings. Again, we focus on short-term occupational training. So you see everything from EKG, central sterile processing, medical assistant, and so on. Obviously, nursing is a huge component of that as well. Next slide. Here is a success story. I would love to spend more time on these success stories, but I know we're condensed with time here. We can attempt to send out the slide deck to everybody after the fact. Because the success stories are really why I personally have been doing this work for as long as I've been doing it. This gentleman here was a working dad. He was trying to pay his own way through LPN training. He saw a significant increase. He's now making $36 an hour after we funded him to become a licensed practical nurse. Next slide. I wanted to highlight an apprenticeship project that we had. We got apprenticeship expansion funding. We have it again this program year. We were able to award $3,200 to Superior Ambulance for them to procure and purchase software to track and expand their apprenticeship program, which supports long-term healthcare apprenticeship pathways in the community. They're a great employer partner of ours as well.
So we granted them the 3,000.
We did. Yes, the apprenticeship grants work a little bit different. You use dollars as an incentive for expanding existing programs or creating new ones. We've talked about in the committee, the Industry Insight Series. I won't go into too much detail here. Again, I know we're in a time crunch, but as you guys know, Member U has been deeply involved in these Industry Insight Series. We got key takeaways. We have actions that we're trying to take, building off of what we heard from all the employers in the room on that day. I think we're skipping to the next sector now, which is information technology. So next slide. Again, here's some labor market and kind of economic data here for DuPage County. So 8.6% of DuPage's workforce in IT, $6 billion of wages again paid to employees in the IT sector. Higher average annual wage there to be expected, $110,000. The projected job demand is lower, as you'll see, than it is for healthcare, 4,400. We're anticipating AI is going to have obviously large impacts on this sector. Not sure exactly what that will look like, but this is currently the third largest employment sector in the county. So for that reason, we expended over $600,000 in WIOA training grants this past program year for 81 participants to boost their skills to either start a career or advance their career in IT occupations. Again, another little success story quote there. And some of this, just a sampling of some of the type of training programs that are funded. Next slide. Another success story here. This gentleman was laid off from his job. He took Power BI and SQL training that we funded for him. He had been unemployed for 11 months at that point. And then he landed a job with a major company. I didn't want to include the name, but a major firm there. And he's now making $117,000. He's hoping to retire and not get laid off again, naturally, but some great skills that he was able to acquire. Another good success story. We also wanted to highlight one of our youth programs. We use this as an example. We do paid work experience for young adults, 17 to 24, that qualify. So these two here, Lucas and Landon, are twins. They both were funded to complete an IT support specialist program. Then we matched them up with a paid work experience. They're actually still working there about 20 hours or so a week, gaining real world skills. The grant pays their wages. And they're at a company called CompuDopt in Downers Grove that is an excellent partner of ours. As a side note, CompuDopt is also like sort of a charitable organization for the upcoming Hinsdale Lake Terrace event that's going to be happening later this month. CompuDopt has agreed to donate laptops to individuals that are in need of them at that event for the residents of Hinsdale Lake Terrace. So we work with them in a number of ways. Next slide. And I also wanted to highlight our My Way sessions. We restarted this year. These are career exploration sessions for young adults that don't know what their direction is, what their next step is. We took a group who had expressed interest in IT to tour a local company, TechBoo, another great partner of ours in Bloomingdale. So again, trying to give the flavor of sort of how all these services look, not just the numbers, but the actual people and the actual activities that happen. We had 110 total attendees from October through August. I'd like to say that all 110 of them remained engaged with us and are doing a training grant or a paid work experience. They are not. It is very difficult to keep the young adults engaged. So we're continually trying to explore additional ways to boost the number of young adults that actually participate in services. Next slide. Transportation logistics. Again, I won't read through them all, but there's information included here, and we can send you guys all this presentation after the fact if you want to skip ahead, Joe. We funded 71 participants over $440,000 of scholarship and training grant support there. Many of these individuals select CDL training, but there's also some supply chain management, inventory management type certificates as well. Next slide is a success story, I believe, of a wonderful client of ours named Sherry. That is her long haul cab there, that she is now an over the road truck driver. And she is now making about $80,000 a year doing this. She was laid off from her previous position, an example of a non-traditional occupation breaking boundaries again. Next slide. Finally, advanced manufacturing. Again, here's your data. Second largest industry sector in DuPage County. Most people, I don't think, would guess that, but it is the second largest industry sector in DuPage County. Typically have critical skill shortages in this area. Next slide. We funded over $400,000, again, in training grants for 37 participants. Those are things like welding, CNC, HVAC, etc. Next slide, I think, is the incumbent worker slide. Nope. Success story of Azat, who was working as a food delivery driver and became an HVAC technician, and he's now trying to start his own company.
Let's do the success stories. We'll actually send them out later.
Excellent. Next slide, I hear you. $180,000 in training grants to support the manufacturing sector alone. So that is huge for the manufacturing sector, the IWT program. Next slide. Case study, I will skip over this, but this is border heating and cooling. If you want to advance, there's a great testimonial there. You can advance again.
Yeah, we're gonna need these presentation slides to be sent to us.
And again, we did an industry insight series here. Career Center activity. We had over 2,200 participants attend our monthly events, and those are our key monthly events there. If you want to go one more slide. We had over 2,000 one-on-one career counselor appointments, over 6,600 visitors to the center, averaged 400 to 500 a month. And I think that that's it. Some more testimonials. I just wanted to let the committee know I have compiled some numbers to the best of my ability with our limited systems. From July 2020 to July 2025, we have funded 1,724 people for training for a total of $11.4 million. And those outcomes that you saw, the average wage increases and such, that holds across program years. So every year, those people are experiencing significant wage gains and all of that. I don't think we have time for questions, but I would be happy to answer any and all questions if you guys want to reach out to me afterward or later
Yeah,
on.
we can always reach out directly to Lisa or send questions to Amy.
Sorry, I kind of raced
Yeah.
through, but.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa, for the presentation. So we did start our committee meeting 5 minutes late due to JPS going over, and thank you, Member Header, for coming in. So we're going to now hear from Innovation DuPage, and they do have a very shortened period of time, and we apologize for that. And I know that you guys are experts at rushing through your presentation. Yes, but I hope the members will just stay 5 minutes longer. I think Public Works is going to start 5 minutes later.
I think you do have the quorum in here, so you're good. So I don't know if any of your people will.
Yeah,
I think you can keep
are
going.
you in public works? Okay.
Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you, committee members. So we're going to try to back about 6 years into 8 minutes. We're going to talk to you about Innovation DuPage, which is a separate nonprofit from the College of DuPage. If we could advance, please. We're going to start with a little video to show you what we've been up for the past 6 years. Next slide, please. And please stop us and ask questions if you have any as we go along. Innovation DuPage and the college are uniquely positioned to serve small businesses. We've been doing this for decades. In 1979, Corporate College or Business Solutions was founded. 1984, the Business Development Center was created, which houses the SBDC, the Apex Accelerator, and the International Trade Center. 2010, thereabout, I inherited that former group, the BDC, and we started looking at what more could we do for small business. And one of the things we saw was we didn't have a full community of mentors. The people who come to the SBDC and team are at all stages of their business, and their follow-up varies. In fact, Rita used to work there. It was sometimes frustrating because people don't follow up on everything we can do for them. It led to a number of focus groups, smaller grants. I actually did my dissertation at Benedictine on creating a business incubator accelerator at community colleges. 2018, we established it as a separate nonprofit. We now have over 60 partners. In 2019, we opened headquarters in Glen Ellen. They're essentially giving us 20 years free rent, which helps us keep our costs down. And then we're presenting this model across the country to other colleges, other universities, other municipalities. So you can see here the BDC, their outcomes over approximately 20-year period in terms of the number of clients, advising hours, but over 6.6 billion in economic impact. And that's understated because it's self-reported. So the team will pester folks to tell them what happened after they helped them, but it's not 100% reported, but it's still huge. But what we didn't have was this community of mentors. We didn't have the academic institutions and research facilities all working together in support of our small businesses. Next slide, please. Oh, you can keep going, thanks. Please.
Cue the animation. Yeah. So what you'll see here is our growth over the past 3 years, but these are a lot of statistics you'll see on your handouts, but also on the video. So we've served more than 400 companies over the past 6 years. We have 165 active members that represent more than 46 million in annual revenue, 850 full and part-time jobs. 70% of those companies are women and or minority businesses. 70% of those companies are based in DuPage County. We do get some companies from Chicago. We get some companies from across the nation, actually. 30% of these companies self-identify as low to moderate income. So underneath the median income in DuPage County, we've provided over 750,000 in scholarships for programs and membership at Innovation DuPage. So there's not a barrier to accessing our resources. We do not take any equity stake in any of our companies, which is a big differentiator between us and other incubators and accelerators from across the region. We've provided more than 175 student internships, and we've engaged thousands through our workshops and events. Next slide, please. So the reason we're here is for request for support. We're seeking an annual contribution from the county of $50,000 to support our owner to CEO business accelerator program. Through that, we would also ask, we would list DuPage County as a founding partner in all of our materials and presentations. We'd ask DuPage County board member to serve on ID's board of directors, and we create an MOU to figure out how we can collaborate with the county in terms of our work in economic development. This is our owner to CEO program. So it's 10 weeks, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 hours in the evenings, all remote except for the last session. We've now had 19 cohorts of the program and put more than 200 companies through that program. We do one in the fall, we do one in the spring, and then in the winter session, we'll do one focused on the construction industry. And we partner with the SIA on that, the Hispanic American Construction Industry Association.
And Dan, if I could jump in, the owner to CEO focused on construction is an example of us specializing. We're doing the same now with CEJA, climate equitable jobs. We're doing an accelerator incubator just for energy firms. We want to make sure we continue to do owner to CEO for Main Street and industry agnostic groups. As we get other funding, we think that would be a great avenue for the county to sponsor.
So outside of our statistics for our overall incubator program, this is for the accelerator program. To get in, we look for 2 years in business, at least 2 employees, at least 200,000 in sales. Our cohort size is about 10 to 14 companies. I think I told you it's 10 weeks, and those are a few of the rules on there. At the end, they receive a certificate of completion, and then actually 6 months free membership to ID so they can continue to access our mentorship and resources. Of those companies that are participating in our program logistically, 75% are DuPage County businesses, 80% are women or minority owned businesses, and 66% are less than 1 million in sales. Additionally, I have actually some additional handouts here that'll show a little bit of a sample of some of the companies that are coming through. So what you'll see is that these are companies listed by their sector and really their growth over the past year and a half by participating in our business accelerator program. Next slide. Here's a picture of a lot of our happy graduates that have come through the program. Next slide.
The diverse group.
Yes.
Here's one of our graduates that we could talk about. She is a book publisher, and she most recently published the book for NBA All-Star Bill Cartwright. And she'll, if you play the video.
You'll see, I'm a trailblazer. That's why I published my book. This book is more about my family, mom and dad growing up, because I've always felt that they were really visionary.
What's it been like working with Sophisticated Press and Renetta?
It's been just great working with her. She's been outstanding.
Renetta, I'm sure that makes you very proud. I'm proud of you as someone who's come on the show 2 years ago. Dan, I know you're proud of the whole team here.
Going through that owner to CEO program has really developed my leadership skills, and Dan and Joe Cassidy really has created something special at Innovation DuPage, and it has really been life-changing for me.
So we actually helped Renetta when we found out she was publishing the book. We did a book launch party at the college, and it was a great event.
Connected to all of our athletic programs, and he got to tell his personal life story, which was great.
Next slide. Joe, I think.
So partnership is critical to this model. We started with our academic institutions, for which COD is the primary feeder of schools as far away as Western Michigan. When we turned to them and said, look, we want to connect what we're doing around entrepreneurship to your 4-year degree and post-grad programs, they loved it. They've been partners ever since. As Dan mentioned, we've had 175 interns paid, not just from College of DuPage, but from each of the institutions you see here, even some District 203 and District 204 high schools. Next slide, please.
Question.
Yeah. And we do a number of youth activities that we're not mentioning today, but we have a whole program for entrepreneurship intro online and in person every fall. We have an Intern Plus program that pays them. We have big idea pitch contests. So we're looking at the next generation of entrepreneurs, not just the businesses that are currently in that space. Municipal and Chamber of Commerce partners are critical. The chambers have a tough job convincing small businesses with tight cash flow as to their value. We tell the chambers, everything we do, you can essentially pass it on to them for free or nearly free. Next slide, please. We've got the attention of banks and consulting firms because they look at our results in terms of job creation, company growth, and service of traditionally underserved populations, and they get very excited. The banks here are providing both dollars and expertise. They have people teaching in our program. So when we talk about finance, it's not the Joe and Dan show. It's a CEO or COO or someone from one of these companies. Next slide, please. Although we like the Joe and Dan show, it's that's already outdated. We're well over $750,000 that's going directly to our companies to pay for all of these courses and programs. As you know, the DuPage story is quite significant. We have 2 of the 17 national labs. We have scientists from each of those labs who are working with us to bring their products to market. One's removing oil from the oceans from tanker spills in Trinidad, Tobago, and Egypt. Another from Argonne is working on next generation battery technology with the U.S. Air Force. Great media partners that you saw at WGN, they pick up our stories, they retell them. And we're telling our member story companies. So we get them publicity that they just could not buy. Next slide, please. And as we travel the country, we talk about this model and we show them our founding partners, and it kills me that we don't have the County of DuPage up here as a founding partner. We tell them about Glen Ellen giving us free space. We tell about the college's annual commitment of over $600,000. And then they say, well, where's your county and your support? And they love us. Are they funding? We say, well, no, not yet. So we would love to get back to having the county as, it's in our name. We'd love to have the county on our board and actively involved in the incubator. With that, I think we could take questions.
Okay. Does anybody have a question? I think we have time for one question. Anybody?
I don't have a question. I've just got a request for information.
Yes,
Because I know
Member
you had a
Echo.
lot of success stories and you quoted people in and you guys talked about it. But I'm interested in and I asked for this information from anybody who provides services to people. I'd like to see statistics as to how successful everything is 2, 3, 4 years out. Because 6 months afterwards, where somebody's doing well, it's great. And I'm glad that you help so many people and that 6 months out, everything's going well. But to really figure out the impact of the program, it has to be long-term, not just something that somebody went through when they got all excited.
Yep.
So
Understood. Anecdotally, someone from our first owner to CEO went from 2 employees to 22. And it's not just this program. You'll see results here, growth. We have another company that went from 2 co-founders during COVID to 28 employees and $10 million in sales. There's a couple challenges. The companies are very protective of their data. So we have generic name, we have space holders here. We have to pester them. The numbers you see here of 850 jobs supported, 46 million is probably about 40% of our active members. So again, the companies are really, and we're now making them sign something to say, if you do this program, you have to show the results.
That's what I was just saying you should do is, if they're getting a benefit and
I agree.
they should be committed to getting that same benefit for future people by showing that it worked up front to begin with.
It wasn't established that way. We're actually recruiting for our next cohort that's starting next week. And everybody I've talked to, a part of the cohort said, yes, absolutely. We want to access those resources and we have no problem giving you input down the road. So we're working on that
It
right
should be
now.
the same thing with your group. As they come in, they get free services and
Yeah.
they should commit to communicating. I asked that from the probation department and everybody.
We could see their wages. The problem we have is that it's we don't have a system that can pull, and I brought this to the state. You asked this once before, and I think I provided what I could pull together for the incumbent workers we had. But I don't have a way I'm assuming with AI at some point, the state will catch up and be able to calculate these longitudinal outcomes. But we go through 1 year. So we have employment Q4, are they employed a year after? But if we were to want to go back and see people we funded 5 years ago, how are they doing now? We don't have the means to pull all of that.
Right. But that was a very good comment, and I knew that was going to be a question with regard to, data. We always are looking for more data, I understand. But thank you, Joe Cassidy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for this
Thank you.
time constraint presentation.
Thank you.
And I just want to also introduce Jill McWilliams. She's the newest staff member over at Innovation DuPage. Thank you for also being here. Okay, so thank you for this presentations. Thank you to the members for staying on. I just want to ask if there's any old business. Hearing none, any new business? Okay, without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.